Hey guys, Alex. In today's video, I want to show you how to set up your Google Ads for your junk car business. So if you're not running Google Ads, let me just quickly show you why. We just had a client come on that is not getting any calls through SEO, through their Google business profile, and our solution was to work with them to just start building out a Google Ads campaign. It's working well for them. Now they're getting calls every day. But let me just show you why you want to be running ads for your Google Ads campaign for junk cars, or for your marketing campaign for junk cars, right? If anybody that searches anywhere in the US, anywhere really, is going to be hit with 4 ads, Google business profile with 3 other competitors, and the first page of results is going to be huge, well-established websites, right? The thing with Google Ads that's cool is that most of your competitors have no idea what they're doing. 2 of these ads are just junk removal, not at all related to cars, to junk cars, and this one doesn't even mention Atlanta, nor does this one, right? So there's not a single ad here that even mentions Atlanta. And if we look at another location, right, places that buy junk cars in Richmond, same thing. We have 2 ads. We buy broken cars, which is a huge ad. Junk cars for cash in Richmond, pretty good, really well-structured ad. And then a bunch of stuff before you even have the Google business profile here. And then just, it's going to be very difficult to get organic leads for your junk car business, which is what makes Google the best idea, because you do show up at the top of the results right here. Thankfully, like I said, your competitors probably have no idea what they're doing. So anyways, in this case, we're going to jump right in, and I'm going to show you how to set up your Google Ads campaign for your junk car business. So jump into Google Ads. This is the dashboard. This is what it's going to look like. Click on New Campaign. This will bring you to the New Campaign page. And we'll just go with Atlanta for the purpose of this video, right? So you want to choose leads, because you want leads, probably phone calls, right? That's going to be the best bet for junk cars. You can do form fill out, but phone calls, typically clients in this space prefer phone calls. For conversion goals, you will have to set up conversion tracking with Google Tag Manager, but you'll have to do that at a later date or even before you start running the campaign. It's just not something I'm going to go through in this video, right? And then from here, you would just click on search because you want to search campaign. Select the ways you'd like to reach your goal. Please hit phone calls, right? Phone calls are going to be the best for this type of business, and make sure to add your phone number and then click on continue. For campaign name, just name it something that is relevant to your business, and you can just go with campaign with just junk car Atlanta. So in this option, in this part of the structure, you choose your bidding, right? Google leaves it as default conversions. If you are already tracking conversions, if you have an aged Google Ads account, you can leave it as conversions, assuming that you've already tracked 20 to 30 conversions in the past 30 days or so. If not, you want to choose clicks. This just helps to actually tell Google to send more traffic to your page, so that when people are on your website, they can interact with the website and then either call or fill out a form or whatever is your conversion goal that you're tracking. Once you're able to get 20 to 30 conversions from that, you can set it to conversions. But until then, always start with clicks. And if you are on a tight budget, you can set a maximum cost per click bid limit. But when you're just starting out, it's not really worth it. Unless you are in a hyper competitive area where you can get charged $50 per click, then you'd want to set a limit. But if not, you can just leave that blank. And you don't have to click this as well. Just click on through. So these 2 networks are very low quality networks, and I always recommend opting out of this. Google wants you to opt into these, but they are just, like I said, low quality networks. They won't result in the best quality leads. And it's just a lot better to opt out of those from the start, so you're not getting just poor quality traffic. When it comes to locations, what you want to do to start is click on location options here and choose presence, people in or regularly in. This is going to be people that are actually in your target area. This one, it says it's people who have shown interest in your included locations. So this could even be people that are looking to start a junk car business in your area, but they're searching 5 states over. Doesn't really make a lot of sense to have this selected. And then, so always select presence, people in or regularly in. From here is where you would choose your location. Now you have a few options. You can just enter Atlanta here, right? And then that's that. Or you can click on advanced search. And you can see here, if you are a junk car business, you're probably willing to drive beyond this area to pick up a car. So what I would do, for example, is click on radius. And then you can choose a radius of how far you're willing to drive. Let's say 30 miles, and then you can just choose Atlanta right here. Right now, that gives you a much bigger radius of how far you could drive to pick up junk cars. If you didn't want to drive this far, you could just choose the different radius, or even choose pin mode. Right, with let's say a 10-mile radius with pin mode. Select the pin. Let's get rid of this. Select the pin right in Atlanta there, and there you go. And then now you have your region. So click save. Language, leave it as English. Audience segments, you would leave alone until you have more data from the campaign. This is not important at the moment. Other two things you want to change is in more settings. Select ad rotation and always choose to rotate ads indefinitely. This is because this will give you the control over when the ads are being displayed, and you want to make the decision on what the best performing ads are. You don't want Google to make that decision for you, right? So you will be split testing ads. And if you are split testing ads within an ad group, Google will just choose one that they deem to be better, but Google has a different goal in mind than you have, right? So it's better to rotate ads indefinitely. That way both ads within an ad group that you're split testing will rotate indefinitely, and you can decide based on metrics which ones you want to run or which ones you want to pause or update, right? And another thing to keep in mind is over time, you will choose an ad schedule. If you want to be busy on weekends or after 5 p.m., you can choose a schedule here. Google will tell you when your ads are showing the most, and then you can actually build a schedule around that. But that's something to do further down the road. Now this is where we start to build up the ad group. This is where you're actually going to build up the ads for your business, right? So you can just name the ad group Junk Cars Atlanta. Right? Now when it comes to keywords, you have a few options here. You can enter your competitor here, or you can just do something like junk cars, sell junk cars, sell junk cars, or something like we buy junk cars. Now Google will give you some options here, but they're not that great. And I'll show you in a minute how you can find the best keywords for this campaign. So these aren't actually terrible, right? But let me just show you really quickly. So open up your Google account in a new tab. So when you do have it opened in a new tab, what you want to do now is click on Tools here. It's going to open in the Keyword Planner, and then you want to click on Discover New Keywords here, right? Add your area, which is Atlanta for the purpose of this video. Include, click on Save, and then just click on Junk Cars, Sell Junk Cars, We Buy Junk Cars, and click on Get Results. Now this will give you a huge list of keywords here. We have about 1,584. When this is done loading, you can start to refine them. For example, you might not need all the car makes. It's not really necessary. You can get rid of repair shops. It's not really necessary, right? You can get rid of all these random brands, competitors, for example. And as you can see, that does bring it down by a little bit. But now this is where you want to start adding the keywords to your campaign. So from here, of course, you would add the 3 that we mentioned, which I think were already included, right? You can just copy and paste these over. For a bigger campaign, or if you did want to go through all of them, which I would, for example, you could just click download keyword ideas, open it in a Google Sheet. For the purpose of this video, I just want to show you exactly how to do it, right? So keep in mind that some of these are going to be different intent than people that are looking to actually sell their junk cars, right? So we buy junk cars for sale is probably not one that you want. This one's fine. This one's fine. You don't want this one. You don't want this one. And then junk cars is probably too broad. So you would just want to go through and look for ones, for example, that include, scrap cars, or just more people that are going to be more interested in actually selling their cars. If that's the business you're in, right? Places that buy junk cars, that would be a really good keyword. The best keywords you'll see here on the right are going to have an actual bid range, because Google knows that people are willing to pay to drive traffic to their website for that specific keyword. And I will do a video on how to find the best keywords for that, right? Junk car pickup. You could add that to your campaign right there. So now we have a few keywords. You want to add 10 or 20 or more, as many as are relevant. And then from here is where you can start building the ads, building the ad out. This is where you're going to add the URL for your site. So in this case, it would be something like junkcars.com. And you want to add a display path, because this actually shows here on the ad itself, and it does help with junk cars. Or we could go with something like Atlanta junk cars, right? So people are going to see this, and they're going to be a lot more likely to click through when they see the location and the actual service, right? It just helps. It adds a little bit of a boost of a click-through rate, and will definitely help the performance of your ad, right? And then from here, you want to add headlines. You can add as many headlines as you want, because you'll be split testing the ads. So you want 2 ads within the same ad group. I only recommend about adding 5 or 6, and then adding a few different ones in the other ad. And so you can see here, Google does give you some options, right? This is actually not a bad one, right? Or junk, we buy junk cars in Atlanta, right? Atlanta junk car pickup for cash. Does that fit? No, right? Buying junk cars for cash, right? So two of these mention Atlanta, and you can see the actual results showing Atlanta, showing car pickup. You want to include two things in the ad if you can: the location and the service. So buying junk cars as well as mentioning Atlanta, right? We have 4. That's a good plan. That's a good amount to start. Then you can just head down to the description, and then Google does give you some options here because we did add a site, I think, that is offering that is legitimate. But for this, you could do something like, we buy all junk cars in Atlanta and surrounding neighborhoods. Call today for pickup, right? Offering cash for junk cars across all of Atlanta, right? Call now to schedule a pickup, a car pickup. There you go. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good start. So people are going to read that. They're going to see exactly what you do, and they are a lot more likely to click through and actually follow through with booking your service. If your business name is short enough, make sure you add it here. You can also add a logo, right? When it comes to site links, you also want to add those. There are some here that have been auto-generated, but you can create your own, and you'd want to have things like, right, book a sell us your car, right? And then this would be a link on the ad that would send people to a page that would be a call to action for them to actually sell you their car, right? Schedule a pickup, right? You got something like prices we pay for cars, right? So people would see that, they'll be more likely to click through and actually call you or schedule a pickup. And calls are the same in the sense that you can see some options here, but you just click on new call out and it has something like, we buy all junk cars. Buying junk cars in Atlanta doesn't fit in ATL, right? And you can see here, it just adds a little bit of data to the end, and again, helps to get people to actually click on the ad and call you or book your service, right? And there are a number of asset types you can add. Of course, you want to add your phone number, structured snippets, right? If you can, and just anything that's relevant for the campaign, right? When you're done, you would just click on done. And just scroll to the top here, it shows you a little preview. You can just quickly review this. You don't always need to take Google's recommendations. Again, like I said before, Google's recommendations are in Google's favor, not your favor. And I'll show you really quickly in a second what to do with these keywords to make sure people are actually seeing your ads for relevant services. Now, this is where you set the budget. For the purpose of this video, I'm just going to set it to 0.01 because it is my test account. But if you want to spend $50 a day, $100 per day, this is where you would actually set that here, right? $100 per day. For a car pickup, for junk cars, I would recommend starting at about $50 per day. That's the bare minimum I'd recommend. Of course, the more you have, the more leads you're going to get. But $100, $50 to $100 per day is about the entry level to actually run a campaign successfully, get the data you need, and be picking up cars regularly. In any case, you would just click on next, and now Google's going to show you a preview of the account. This can take 30 seconds to a minute. This one was pretty quick, right? And then from here, you just click on publish campaign. And I'll show you really quickly what to do with the keywords in just a moment. So it's going to ask you to set up a Google tag. You should go through and set up your Google tag so you can track conversions properly. It's important to actually track what people are doing on your site. Conversions being things like clicking to call or booking a service, right? So to find your campaign, just click on campaigns here. And you're just going to look for the campaign that's live, Junk Cars Atlanta. This is the ad group. And then if we click on here, we have the ads within the ad group. To make, here's where you want to duplicate this ad and make a completely different one so that you can split test performance, right? You always want to be split testing your ads. And it's also important for keywords, right? So click on search, click on this, and then click on search keywords. These are the keywords we added. Now you can see they're all broad match. To start, you want to set it to phrase match. This is just going to keep everything dialed in, a little bit tightened, and actually show your ads to people that are most likely looking for your service. right? If you have a broad match, it could be something like how to sell junk cars for money, or why do businesses buy junk cars. So you want to set it to phrase match because it does tighten things up a little bit. To do that, you just click on this, right, to select them all, edit, change match types, change all match types, and you would just change all of them to phrase match to start. Obviously, after a month or two, you could tighten things up even more and go into exact match, but that's a bit more of a higher level strategy and definitely takes a lot of analysis to figure out the best keywords to target. And that's really about it. If you did make it this far, thank you for watching. If you do need help setting up the ads for your junk car business, or you just have any questions about it, you can click the link down below, book a call with me. Happy to take a look at your campaign, answer any questions you might have about your ads, digital marketing strategy, anything like that. I love talking to you guys. And yeah, if you made it this far, like I said, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.